What's up, everyone? Welcome to Legacy Talk with Kalesha. This podcast exists because I kept having powerful conversations behind closed doors with investors, with entrepreneurs, with professionals, and everyday people who are building something meaningful. And I realized these conversations shouldn't stay private, you guys. So I created Legacy Talk, which is all about pulling back the curtain not just on business or money, but on the people behind it, the stories, the lessons, the mistakes, and the legacy being built in real time. So each week we sit down with entrepreneurs, professionals, and investors from all walks of life to talk honestly about leadership, about business, about faith, about family, and the long game legacy. Today's guest is someone I'm genuinely excited to introduce. She's a clinical pharmacist, a restaurant franchisee, a mother of two, and a passionate supporter of small businesses. She's building her legacy through entrepreneurship, family, and community impact with big dreams of owning commercial real estate along the way. Guys, I'm so happy to have on here Priscilla. Priscilla, what's up?
Well, hello. Thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate it.
Listen, it's for me, I'm always fascinated when I meet other business owners, black business owners who are like crushing it. You're like, wait, this person exists. There's people like us doing
Mm,
it. Like, we need to like tell the world about this.
that part, yes, yes.
Unless she's like that part.
And I know this has been on the docket for quite some time, so I am super excited to finally be able to connect with you.
Girl, I believe like nothing happened before its time.
Mhm.
It's all timing. So I think like we're gonna unpack so much stuff in today's
Mhm.
episode. For those who are listening, if you're watching, kudos to you. But if you're listening, like this is gonna be amazing, okay? Plus,
Thank
you're
you.
seeing two black, beautiful women who are crushing it. Honey, what more could you ask for? Listen, so I'm just gonna dive right in, right into like all the amazing things that you're doing. So I want to just go back a little bit because as the title suggests, like you are you have a career in healthcare. You run a full service restaurant. You are raising two daughters alongside your high school sweetheart, Priscilla.
Right.
Like,
Mhm.
but like what kind of like spark that passion for entrepreneurship and business ownership for you?
Well, it really began when I was a kid. Before I was even a teenager, I knew I was destined to just be an entrepreneur. I was involved in cheerleading, I was involved in so many local civic organizations, and it became expensive with traveling and competitions. And so I finally just was like, I'm going to do something different.
Mm.
Became the neighborhood candy lady. Remember the
Wait,
candy growing up?
this was here in Tampa?
Yes, this was here in Tampa, became the neighborhood candy lady, so I would have, just friends from the neighborhood, other kids from the neighborhood would just come by, adults would even come by, and they would just buy candy from me, and from my candy sales, I would use that money to pay for my cheerleading competitions and traveling expenses and things of that nature, and it just became a thing. And from then on, I kinda graduated from selling candy, and then I started renting my Disney VHS tapes. Remember the back in the
Whoa.
day?
Yes.
Girl, I started renting those out. I would charge $3 to rent them if you had 1 week to return it back to me, and if you were 1 day late, I would tack on an additional $1 per day that you were late. I am so serious. So from a little girl, I was always about making my money, making profit, providing a service to
Yeah.
someone, and them giving me money and me being able to do what I needed to do with it.
Ah.
So entrepreneurship has been in my blood. I didn't know what it was called back then, but that's what it was.
It's crazy. I think so many entrepreneurs, I think a lot of us did this whole selling thing when we were smaller, especially the
Mhm.
candy thing it was like a quick way to make money. It was very cheap to start and you
Yeah.
could scale it. But
Yep.
a lot of us start by selling something in high school or in our
Mhm.
community.
Mhm. Girl,
Oh
I
my
was in
gosh.
elementary and middle school selling candy in my VHS. Oh, yeah, it started very young. Oh, yeah.
Oh my the VHS for me, that's very unique. I'm like and then
Mhm.
the fact that you knew to charge an additional dollar if they're
Yeah.
late, like,
Mhm.
okay, this is like you know what's crazy too? So, like, when you like, in doing all of that as well, like, And of course, the different hats that you are wearing, your role, your transition as well. Like,
Mhm.
what was like one lesson during that time frame that kind of surprised you? A lesson about leadership that
Mm.
you're like, this is interesting, or I didn't think that it should be this way.
I wouldn't say I learned any hardcore lessons back
Mm,
then as a kid, but
mhm.
definitely as an adult having a business, I feel like my biggest lesson that I've learned is that it's not about knowing all of the answers. It's more so asking the right questions.
Questions.
Asking the right questions. Is this going to align with my values? Is this
Yeah.
going to allow me to be true to who I am?
Hmm.
Is this going to come into play with my current family dynamic?
Yeah.
I'm very busy. I have a very hectic lifestyle.
Hmm.
So I now ask the right questions versus
Questions.
always trying to know the answers to everything.
Do you think there was any skill like that you encountered selling candy or your VHS, your business that you think like this was in alignment? Because I'm utilizing some of these skills now from what I was doing as a kid in high school to what I'm doing now. Like, what were some of those skills?
For me, just my personality, I'm very charismatic.
Mhm.
Low key an introvert though.
That's hard to believe. There's no way.
An introvert. I'm like, do I really want to do this? But, I think just really having a big personality, I'm always high energy, big energy. And I think that plays a big role to get people to kind of buy
Good.
into whatever it is that
Mhm.
you're trying to sell or talk to them about. I feel like I can get someone's attention from just my personality and me being true to who I really am.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so I agree with you. Like sometimes our personality or who we are is our biggest what do you call it? My God, that word was on top of my head. It's our biggest flex.
Mhm.
You know,
Mhm.
it's our big instead of saying it's our biggest competitive advantage, it is our biggest flex. And then sometimes we look down on ourselves too because of so many different factors, not realizing that you being you is your competitive advantage, not your strategy, not your business, but you.
Mhm. Mhm. And you're right. I've definitely have learned to just get out of my own way.
Yes.
I am my biggest competition, and if I just
Mhm.
step back and get out of my own way and just believe in myself, have the
Yeah.
confidence and just do it, then
Mhm.
the chips will fall where they need to be.
Then if
Yeah.
listen, this oh, so I think like for me, I was so surprised knowing that you are running an entire business while also still being healthcare. I was like, wait, those two, it doesn't go because we all know like when you're in the medical field, that is something that requires a lot of your time plus running a business too. And I think you can have persons who are in the healthcare space, but they also have that entrepreneurship mindset. Like, and then some people will feel overwhelmed to be like, I can't balance my career, my family, a business. Like, how did you approach it differently with intentionality as you like wearing all these hats as well?
Well, as you mentioned, I feel like the biggest thing for me is having that balance. I do wear a lot of hats,
Wait,
and
does balance exist? That exists?
I have to make it exist. I have to make it I have to create my balance. It
Balance,
may
yeah.
look different from, the next entrepreneur, but for
Mhm,
me, the balance is just having that time to just unwind and decompress myself.
mhm.
I'm a big, big, big proponent. I'm
Pro
a big person
propon
of wanting to promote self-care, and I take care of myself. I
mm,
go to the gym, I do sauna workouts 6, 7 days a week, and that is like my happy place. Once I go to the gym in the morning and get my workout done, I'm like, "Okay, I'm ready. I can
uh,
conquer the world. I can just
yeah,
do anything." So I just use that time for myself
mhm,
just to kinda get that mental clarity and just kinda get my thoughts together for the day because I know once I leave the gym and go home, shower, and get out the door and put my
that's
roller
it.
skates on, it's on and popping. It's gonna be something. I'm putting out fires nonstop. So, really just intentionally finding that balance and just finding that space within myself so
Mhm.
that I can have that self-care.
Do you think people have because I've heard like there different misconceptions people have with wearing all these hats and balance and think that it's impossible and having multiple roles at once.
Mhm.
Have you heard anything like any big like misconceptions about wearing all these hats? Like you shouldn't be doing this or this doesn't work or balance doesn't exist. Like what have you heard or seen?
Think that a novice entrepreneur
Mhm.
I think that they feel like they can do it all. We want to do it all,
Yeah.
but there's a news flash. You cannot do it all. You
Yeah.
just simply cannot.
Mhm.
I've learned that the hard way. It's been times where I would be sick, just completely falling ill from just running, 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 doing so much, trying to be
Mhm.
superwoman. And now I'm just like, I'm not going to run myself ragged anymore. I am not superwoman, nor do I want to be superwoman at this point. So thinking that you can just do it all is definitely a misconception that a lot of
Mhm.
entrepreneurs have because you are trying to save money, you're trying to still figure it out, and there's a lot of things that you just simply don't know. And so then you don't want to tell anyone, what's going on, what projects you're working on. So you want to try to keep it close to the chest as much as you can.
Yeah.
But in actuality, you just can't do it all. You're going to have to outsource. I'm a big fan of outsourcing. I'm quick to outsource anything. I have a virtual assistant. She helps me outsource a lot of the things that we have internally for the restaurant to run the day-to-day logistics. And yeah, just don't think that you can do it all because you cannot.
Listen, I was that person as an immigrant coming over. Like, I used to think, like, I can do it all by myself. I felt so proud to be like, I can do this by myself. But I was
Mhm.
just like you, like, I get burnt out. I was getting sick. I wasn't taking care of myself. And I was like, at some point, I had to realize that no, girlfriend, you cannot do this by yourself. Okay. You need a team. Now I'm always like, and I read this book called Who Not How. And before, oh, so good. Highly recommend. I don't remember who, Dan Sullivan wrote it. And instead of, I think as entrepreneurs, instead of trying to figure out how do I do this for every single task and wear all the hats, now you kind of reframe your mind in terms of who knows how to do this? How can I get a rock star person who's really good at this so I can tell them what I need and for them to execute because they are an expert in that thing
Mhm.
instead of me now trying to figure out that thing, which pull me away from that thing that I'm actually good at.
Yep, yep. I agree
Uh,
100%. And then we think as entrepreneurs, we're saving money by doing it all, but really you're just wasting
and
time. You're
wasting
losing a lot
time.
of valuable time that you can have your skill set on
Yeah.
something else that you can excel at.
Mhm.
Outsource that to someone else and let them do it,
Listen,
and you
I'm
focus
like,
on what you really do
there
enjoy and
you
excel at. Yeah, I
go.
agree 100%.
So, if you because I did all my research on you as well, and just hearing your story too, like you're leading in different areas, right? We spoke about it, family, business, healthcare. You're crushing it, and to me, that's very inspiring as well in completely different sectors. Like, what mindset shift early on in your journey kind of help you to grow in the leader that you are today to be able to manage all these things?
That's a good question. For me, I would say it's actually 2 things. So,
Okay.
my father passed away, when I was 8 years old, but I can recall up until that moment, I was a daddy's girl. I was
Mhm.
his number 1 girl, and he instilled so much into me from birth to 8 years old that I still remember those conversations. I remember the ways that I felt when he would just pour into me and just tell me different things. You can do it. You are number 1. You
Mhm.
can do anything you put your mind to. Never give up. If God gives you that vision, it's your vision, you do it. And I hold on to that, especially when the going gets tough and when I have a
Mhm.
really day and I have a rough season with a lot
Yeah.
going on, I just reflect back during that time period of my father just pouring into me. And now I do that for my daughters.
Hmm.
So that's one mindset shift
Shift.
that I do on a day to day that has really helped me for sure. Yeah.
What's the second one? Because I know you said you had 2.
Yes, I do. The second one is to just be resilient.
Mm.
Like I feel like people may look on the outside and think that you have it all, you can do it all. And that may be true to a certain extent, yes. But it's still so many things that happen along the way in each of our individual journeys where you
Mhm.
want to give up. And so just being resilient is the biggest thing, being
Tell
resilient and just knowing that.
that you can keep going.
For sure.
Tell me a time though when you had to demonstrate being resilient in your life or a season that you're in.
Oh my goodness.
I told you we're gonna be pulling back
I
the layer.
know this is deep. This is really deep, but that's a good one because
Yeah.
I want the audience to know this. When we were slated to first open the restaurant, it was
Mhm.
March 2020,
COVID.
COVID. Before we knew what COVID was, Before we even knew what the word pandemic meant, we were slated to open this restaurant after spending hundreds of thousands of dollars on a build out, construction, hiring, food, you name it. We had to shut down before we even opened our doors to the community. And if that does not give you goosebumps, okay? So luckily we were able to, after the world essentially literally just shut down
Sit
for months
down.
on end, we were finally able to open our doors to the community in November 2020 after the governor released the no mask mandate in public facilities. We opened that very week.
Wait, so that was, you know what? This is Florida. And for a lot of people that was going through the pandemic, like some parts, some states were experiencing way tougher than some. So the fact that COVID during that time and then you were still able to open in November, like you had to pivot. Like what was the strategy then when before opening and the strategy after you open? Like how did you pivot there?
Oh my gosh, we had to do so many pivots. It's not even funny because what we initially thought, with the
Mhm.
springtime opening was completely different from having a November opening.
Yeah.
From employees, we ended up losing them because we were supposed to open in March and
Hmm.
they need employment. They can't wait
Yeah.
until November. Our vendor contracts and negotiations with our food and, just construction and laboring and everything was just a complete pivot. And we
Hmm.
had to pivot fast. There was no rule book for us to say, well, turn to page 39 and this is what you do in this situation. It was literally just like on the fly, nonstop. Every day, it was just something new. It was changing. And I'm actually good with putting out fires. I'm very
Yeah.
witty. I'm very quick on my feet, so I can handle it.
Yeah.
But that was a lot.
And
That
it can be
was a lot.
frustrating too. It can be so frustrating.
It was very frustrating because I was still working as a clinical pharmacist in the emergency department. So I'm seeing, patients coming in, a lot of them dying right before our eyes in the ED, in the emergency department. And I know I have this restaurant that I have to try to open at some point. So
Wait,
it was,
hold on.
it was,
Because see, that just opened a whole nother door because you are working in the emergency room, plus you're
yep.
working on trying to have this restaurant. Like, was there a team that you could trust that you were working with to kind of be handling these things while you're in the ER?
So, yes and no. So, with
Okay.
my restaurant, it is a franchise. So,
Mhm.
I did have the support of the franchisor.
Mhm.
However, they're based in another state. They have
Mhm.
different guidelines and different regulations than we have here in Florida.
Yeah.
And so there was no team. It was myself, it was my husband, it was the few, the handful of employees that we did have. And we just had to make it work and just figure it out. And it was literally just every day, it was something different. It was a different challenge. To say it was insane is an understatement. Okay. It was a lot.
Listen,
It was a lot.
it's that is actually resilience. And the reason I'm so glad I asked you like to go deeper because we hear that word a lot about resilience. Like, and for a lot of persons who have resilience, they're like, I don't. And then you hear their story, we're like, no, you do. Because
Hmm.
all
Hmm.
of that happened, you could have thrown in the towel and be like, I'm done. We don't know where this COVID is gonna go. My work at the ER is taking up a lot of my time. Let's delay this to next year until they're in the clear. So many things could have happened, but you guys were like, no, we're gonna keep going.
Hmm. Because for us, it was always about serving the community. That was
Yeah.
always our focus. We
Mhm.
never deviated from that. As tough as it was on us, we never ever deviated
Never.
from our potential customers. We never deviated from our staffing because, we lost some staff, true enough,
Mhm.
yes. But we had some staff that stuck it out with us. And to
Ooh,
believe it or not, I still have a few of those employees with me today. My day ones,
the one.
two of them are still with me right now. So
Nothing like your day ones.
exactly,
Nothing. Nothing like your day
exactly.
one.
They know how to hold me down.
You talk about the intention was serving the community. But
Mhm.
what led you guys to think, okay, let's go the direction of opening, getting a franchise and serving what was that thing where you're like, this is the direction that we want to take? And just give us more info about the business model, about this franchise that you took on.
So with the franchise model, Eggs Up Grill, it's
Mhm.
a breakfast, brunch, lunch day part. So we're open 7 days a week from 6 in the morning until 2 in the afternoon. And I'm a foodie at heart. I love good
Mhm.
food. However, I also love good service. I want you to pamper me when I come in, okay? And so we make sure we have our staff be very attentive to our guests. It's always just about the little extra
Busy
things. We're very hospitable.
always.
We're in the
Yeah.
South, we're in Florida, so we try to do a lot of Southern hospitality, opening
Mhm.
up the door when they come in, opening up the door as they exit, and just really valuing them and thanking them for being there because it's a million restaurants that you can go to,
Yeah.
like, right? We're not the best. It's hard it's hard in this
Mhm.
landscape, right? But I want our guests to know that we're here for you. We
Mhm.
see you, we hear you. I know I've been at restaurants as a patron. I felt like at times, do I belong here? Should I
Yeah.
be here? Do they want me
Mhm.
here? You kind of feel like a bit of an
But
outcast.
that's what
In my restaurant, we don't do that. Everyone is welcome. We welcome everyone. We love everyone. And the guests tell me that when they come in, they say, I
mm,
feel like I belong here. I feel
belong.
like I have a piece of this. I feel like, I own this along with you because I can feel the love. I can feel the hospitality that your service give us. I can see it in the
Mhm.
quality of the food, and that goes a long way.
So,
Yeah.
did you have, like, prior experience in the hospitality space?
No, I did not.
Mm.
I did not. But I will say, to be 100% honest with you, it's honestly no different from when I work in the emergency department.
Ooh,
When
talk
I
no,
work
I'm like, "Talk to me, tell me
It's
more."
the same thing. Okay. So in the emergency department, when a patient comes in, you're typically being triaged to some
Mhm.
degree.
Yeah.
You're gonna look at someone who's having a heart attack more seriously versus
Mhm.
someone who may have a toothache.
Yeah.
So in the restaurant, it's the same thing. We're going to look at the guests that are in-house, that drove 10, 15, 20, 30 minutes to come there to dine in with us versus a person that's ordering online or the person that's
Mhm.
trying to call and place an order. So it's really just triaging the situation, trying to
Right.
figure out what is the most important thing that we need to
At the
do right now to
moment.
make sure that that customer is happy. So it's the same.
I like how you kinda use that analogy as well, because I think for a lot of people, even, like, getting a franchise, some persons might think, like, "I would love to own a restaurant, but I don't have any experience, or I don't have a team," and all those things. I guess, would it be right to assume that's why you decided to go the franchise route because it already has the systems and everything in place, and you didn't have to figure out every single thing on your own?
That was one of the reasons that
Mhm.
attracted us to the franchising route. Now, my husband and I have had several businesses in the past that we built from the ground up.
Yeah.
We wrote the play on the blueprint, on everything, and of course, that's more challenging,
Mm.
but we just kinda decided to just let's do something different. Let's go big or
Yeah.
go home. The
Mm.
franchise restaurant has been the most grand business that we've had to date, but we just wanted to try something different. As an entrepreneur, we're risk takers. You're willing to do it once and just give it a whirl and
Yes.
see. Sometimes it works,
Yeah,
sometimes
sometimes it doesn't.
it's it is. It's just how much risk are you willing to take? I'm definitely a huge risk taker, as long as it makes sense, of
Mhm.
course,
Thanks.
within
Yeah.
reason. But yeah, I don't mind taking a risk at all. I love it. I get a rush from it.
Gosh, I love it. So I know you work closely with your team, your family, and the community, right? And
Mhm.
most entrepreneurs struggle with separating like personal and business priorities. Like, what common mistakes do you see business owners make early on when they're combine everything like that?
So I feel like a lot of times, like we mentioned earlier, a lot of small businesses, they make the mistake of just trying to do it
Oh,
themselves.
gosh, yeah.
They make the mistake of not realizing that you can get help. Leverage your resources, leverage your
Mhm.
network. Just like before I became a pharmacist and decided to go to pharmacy school, I reached out to other pharmacists. I would
Yeah.
visit other pharmacies and talk to the
Mhm.
pharmacist. Hey, do you like this? What do you do? Can I shadow you? You ask questions to get to know more. It's no different from being an entrepreneur.
Mhm.
Ask questions, try to figure it out. Don't try to do it on your own.
On your own.
Don't always try to reinvent the wheel, but just kinda put your stuff out there and just leverage what you already have right in front of you.
You see, that is crucial. That's why they're like, spend time building relationships. Like I had an entire conversation about this last night. I was doing a live Q&A and I was like, guys, relationships are important, not just to get someone's money, but someone you can build a relationship with someone. They don't have the money, but they know what you do and you build that relationship. They're going to introduce it to someone else in their network. And then it's like a whole spider web.
Mhm,
And for you, it could be you reach out to someone within your network, you have a problem. That person can't help you, but they will introduce you to someone else who can.
mhm. I agree 100%. It reminds me of this book that I read usually once or twice a year. It's so good, and it's
Mhm.
called The Power Connector by Judy Robinette, and
I've heard about the book.
it is so good. It is so, so good. The premise of it is to basically, like you said, using your resources, using what you already have in front of you to allow other people to help you along the way.
Yeah.
And, that book is so good. I love it.
Oh
Love
my
it, love it, love
gosh.
it.
See, now
Yeah.
I need to go back and add that to my list because I've heard about that book
Yes. It's a
before.
must read for sure. Oh, yeah.
Okay. So with that too, like, okay, so now you have your franchise. You've been doing this since 2020.
Mhm.
When the business now starts generating profit, like
Mhm.
what's the first like financial or even operational conversation you have with yourself or
Mhm.
your team? Because I think for entrepreneurs too, when they see that, okay, we start making money, then my lifestyle was, I need to up my lifestyle. So my expenses go up and all those things. Like, what does that conversation look like for you?
To be 100% transparent with you, you
Mhm.
know who I call? My accountant.
Uh, Girl,
I call my accountant. She knows me better than I know myself.
yeah.
She knows me better than I know my own books. I
Mhm.
call my accountant before I make any big purchases, before I do any type of investments. She's the first person that I call. I trust her wholeheartedly with telling me and guiding me what to do, what not to do. Is this safe? Is this too risky? So for me, it's always my accountant. She
Yeah.
guides me in the right direction. She's a vet in the game and I value whatever she says.
Because
And my husband and I just kinda tell each other when we have our
Mhm.
business meetings, whatever she says, that's what goes.
Goals.
Well, it may not be what I want, it may not be what
Yeah,
he wants. If she says it, then that's what it is. That's what we'll do. And so
I
we
love
just
that.
kinda live by that when we're making those big financial decisions.
No,
Yeah.
I really love that because it also goes to show you you have a team of expert, but you're also trusting and your
Mhm,
team of expert, you're going to them for advice. I think a lot of people think that your team of expert, whether that's a CPA or your attorney, you only go to them when there's a problem. No, like you consult them because they have an expertise in XYZ. I really love that.
mhm,
You're teaching me some things today, like because I love that too. So we touch a little bit on profit. Now, I felt this way as well when I started. I started making money, and I think other entrepreneurs will feel this way. It's like, okay, my business, it's a biggest investment because I'm going to take my entire savings and I'm going to dump it in, whether it's systems, hiring, operations, all those stuff. Now, how do you advise another entrepreneur to think about looking at additional investments or strategizing for long term growth? Because again, the profit comes in, you want to keep reinvesting in the business or yourself. But how do you view that aspect of it?
and you have to first have a conversation with yourself.
Hmm.
Is this a short-term play? Is this a long-term play? What is it that you really want for the foreseeable future?
Sure.
And
Yeah.
then you just kinda go from there. For me, I'd like the long-term approach. I'm not a big fan of the short-term game. That's just my personal preference. Like with the franchise agreement, for example, we have a 10-year agreement. So that's a 10-year commitment that I
Hmm.
have to be committed
Me
to
too.
no
Yeah.
matter what, so I just like the long-term approach on the scalability aspect in that regard.
Oh, I love that. So at 5 year, you can be like, or year two, you're like, I'm throwing in the towel. I'm done. This is not working out. I give up. I don't have any motivation. I'm like,
Mhm.
you don't have any motivation. That's the point because motivation fades.
Right.
Guess what? You still got to show up. You have a team who is relying on you and all that stuff. Like, you can't just be like, I don't want to do this today. I mean, we have those days, but like most of the time, you're like, no,
Mhm.
you gotta keep going.
You have to keep going. You have to have a lot of skin in the game. And for me, I have about 25 employees.
Yeah.
So
Woo.
I I know, right?
Yeah.
A lot. It's a lot. And luckily now at this point, I have so many systems and layers in
Mhm.
place where
Place.
I'm not the one getting the 25, I have a flat tire, the 25, I have a toothache, I can't come in, the
Yeah.
25, my tummy ache, I'm sick today. I don't have all of that
Mhm.
because I do have managers and leadership in place. It's the boundaries that I have set
Yes.
forth. But just having skin in the game and having that long-term mindset of
Mhm.
this is what I want to do. This is my destiny. This is what the vision is, and I'm going to
Yeah.
carry that mission and vision. It just
Keep
it,
it
it makes
going.
sense.
I love that.
Yeah.
So let's talk about the bigger picture because
Mhm,
you're obviously you like focusing on goals long term. When it
mhm,
comes on to like longer term growth, I know you aspire to own commercial real estate, which is a major investment for someone balancing so much already. Like,
mhm.
talk to me about that. Why commercial real estate?
Well, because I see the value in commercial real estate. They always say one of the ways that you can get to wealth is through lands.
Hmm.
And I have a vision of, purchasing a property, building on it. I feel like people need a place to go. Commercial real estate isn't going anywhere. Really, real estate in
Real
general
estate.
isn't going anywhere.
It may
But
go up and down, but it ain't going anywhere. Yeah.
exactly. So for me to just get a little piece of that pie, I feel like will
Mhm.
definitely complete my portfolio of what I want to do for my personal and business growth as I walk my entrepreneurial journey.
Oh, I love that. So
Yeah.
when you get into that space, not talk about you're really diversifying because now you're in health space, you're in business, now you're in real estate. She's like, listen, this is long-term growth. This is strategy. What advice would you have to a fellow entrepreneur who might consider exploring investments outside of their main business?
Again, just leveraging what
Yeah.
you have, just
Mhm.
leveraging what you have. If your credit is not up to par, work on that. I have really good credit. I have a really good credit.
Oh, damn. She's like, I have really good credit.
But just starting off with the basics, just
Yeah.
having good credit, making sure that you're being responsible, paying your bills on time, making sure that you're treating others with respect in the way that you want
Mhm.
to be treated. Because once you get into this entrepreneurial world, you see that it's very small and
Yes.
everyone knows everyone. So you want to just make sure you continue to expound
Yep.
upon the relationships that you already have. And then of course just meet new people along the way. And
Mhm.
just build and build from there.
From there. So with like I like taking risks. Entrepreneurs like taking risks, but there's a difference. Like I like taking calculated risk, okay? So
Mhm.
how do you weigh the different risks for any business adventure that you're doing, the opportunities, like how do you do that so you can make decisions, right?
Mhm.
While you're still staying true to like your family and your business goals. How do you approach that?
Well, so I guess it's kind of a two-part for me. So
Okay.
the first part would be to align with my family dynamic.
Mhm.
My life is very chaotic, it's very hectic. It's not drama, but it's just a lot.
It's a lot.
So I have to make sure that this is going to make sense. I still
Mhm.
have littles. My oldest is 10, my baby girl is 6. So I still have to always keep them in mind. Is this
Yeah.
something that may be a good opportunity, but it may pull me away
Mhm.
from my family? Will it stretch me too thin? So I always have to keep my family first and foremost at the top of mind. And
Yeah.
then of course you have to think about it financially. Is this a sound financial decision? Can we afford to take X number of dollars out and invest on XYZ? So again, it goes back into the play of talking to your accountant, talking to your bookkeeper, making sure that it makes sense for you because I don't make any major decisions without the blessing of
Without
my accountant. I really believe that. We have a really good relationship
mhm.
and she's the expert. She knows more than me. And so I
She
feel
knows
like
your financial standing.
exactly. Exactly. Yep.
See, no. So, oh gosh, I can continue this conversation for a long time. But like with everything, right, is there because we touch a little bit on community, we touch a little bit on small business, your career in the health space, running a restaurant, raising a family. Like, was there like a story or a moment that makes you think, you know what? This is exactly why I do what I do.
Is. And so It's twofold. So being a pharmacist, it gives me I have so much joy
Mm.
when I see a little brown girl come up to me and say, "I want to be a pharmacist like you."
Oh, yeah.
That is just like it takes me out each and every time.
Mhm.
I do a lot of mentoring with teenagers, and for them to have the backgrounds in which they come from, and then they see someone like me
Right.
who looks just like them.
Yeah.
I tell them, "I'll put my pants on one leg at a time just like you.
Mhm.
No different. I'm just like you. And if I can do it, you can do it
You can
too."
do it too.
And when I
Yeah.
see them change their lives and they go to college, they flourish, whether they become a pharmacist or not, that is just like, wow.
Mhm.
It it was
Yeah.
worth it. That was
Yeah.
all that I needed. It was worth it. So that's that from the healthcare pharmacist
Okay.
standpoint. And then, of course, from the business standpoint, business is truly my passion. Entrepreneurship is truly my passion. And so when I see customers walk through those doors and
Yeah.
they say, I came here because I saw you on social media and I wanted to support your business. I came here because I saw you on the news. I came here
Yeah.
because you talked to so and so who know that person and they said come and talk to you. That is just like, "You did
Yeah.
that for me? Like,
Yeah.
you did that for me?" And then when they have events at the restaurant, we've had birthday parties, engagement parties, and after hours events and fundraisers and all of these cool things, and I'm like, "This is taking place at my
At my
restaurant? Like,
restaurant.
this is crazy." I'll even tell you another cute, fun story. I think it was maybe 2 years ago now. Oprah Winfrey Network reached out to us, and
Ooh.
we filmed not 1, but 2 episodes of one of the shows on her platform, and just to even get that call
Oh, yeah.
that the Oprah Winfrey Network wanted to be at my restaurant and film on a nationally syndicated program,
Mhm.
I was just like, "This is Oprah knows my name, okay." And I mean, staff was like, "Oh my goodness, Oprah's coming, Oprah's coming." Of course, Oprah didn't come, but still, we were on
But
the
still,
Oprah.
it's something. Yeah.
Yeah, moments like that where it's like, I have to keep going. I
Yeah.
can't stop now. I have
Yeah.
to keep going. When the going gets tough,
Yeah.
I remember those moments and I'm like, this is why I'm doing this. It's worth it.
Oh
Yeah.
my god. I love this so much and I can relate and I think other persons or audience can relate to it as well because I could be having an off day and someone do
Mhm.
the same thing to me. And I was like, boom, that was the reminder that I needed.
Like it gives you energy. It gives you like an extra spark.
Yes, you're
You just
like,
do it. You're
ooh,
like, it's not about me. It's about
no,
never
no.
about never
That's
about
why they say all the time, there's always that one person who is watching you.
yeah. Yep.
Someone is watching your story, your journey, and being inspired, like, every
Mhm.
single day. This interview, like, when they do watch this, right, someone's gonna be like, "Wow, like, this is possible for so many different reasons."
Mhm.
But even if it's to inspire one person to be like, "You can do this, whatever it is that you're looking to do, it's possible."
It's possible.
My gosh,
Possible. Yeah. If God gives you the vision, he gave it to you for a reason.
Mm,
Do it. Just
yeah,
do it.
come on, just do it.
You just have to do it. Don't you figure out the rest later. Just do it.
Just do
Yeah.
it. So before we wrap up, I have one last question for you. It's like, what's one piece of wisdom you wish someone had shared with you early on about entrepreneurship and balance in life, or even building generational wealth that you can share with someone else?
One piece of advice.
She's like, let me think.
Let me think.
I
Let
need
me
to give the
think.
I need to give the gem. Okay.
I would just honestly say, just speaking from the heart, in my situation, it's never been about me. It's always been about just service to others. I don't want to say I'm a people pleaser per se, but I do enjoy when I make someone happy. I do enjoy when someone, for example, comes to the restaurant and they have a good experience. I do feel like I enjoy having some part of their day or their life or whatever it may be to
Yeah.
know that I had my hands in that in some part. That's what fuels me and makes me feel good. So just doing unto others,
Yeah.
servicing others,
Others. Yeah.
always just been my forte.
That's beautiful. That Ah, all right. So we usually like to end the show doing a quick rapid fire. All right.
Okay.
So basically, Priscilla, I'm gonna ask you a bunch of quick questions, like quick, quick, quick. And the first thing that comes to mind, you should just shout it out. You don't need to think, no, nothing. All
Okay.
right.
Okay.
So favorite way to recharge after a long week.
Ooh, a glass of wine and a book.
Okay.
Yeah.
One habit that keeps your family and business running smoothly.
Me staying out of their way.
He's
Let
like,
them do
I
what they
know
need
it.
and let me get out of the way.
Listen, I love that. Um, the most underrated skill for aspiring entrepreneurs.
Eye contact.
Oh,
Eye contact. We don't do eye contact anymore. I'll be talking to someone, we'll have a full-fledged conversation, and I'm like, "Hi, I'm over here."
they're looking
So,
at.
yeah, eye contact, I feel like it's so underrated, but that's how you draw people in, that's how
Mhm,
you really
yeah.
connect with them. I'm very high
Interesting.
energy, I'm very animated, so I'm
Mhm.
like, "I'm giving it to you, so give it back to
So give
me."
it back.
So, yeah,
I
give it
love that.
back. Yeah, so eye contact.
um, your favorite family activity.
I would say we do ice cream Fridays every single Friday as a family. We've
And you
done
said
that
that's on a
for
Sunday. Talk about.
almost 10 years. Since my oldest was a little girl, every single Friday we do ice cream Fridays, so it's just a thing, so
Oh, I love
yeah.
that. Ice cream Friday, not ice cream Sunday, guys. Ice cream
Ice
Friday.
cream Friday, yeah.
One word that describes the legacy you want to leave.
Influence. I would say
I love
influence. I
that.
would love to be able to influence
Mhm.
someone for them to live their best life.
Respect. Oh, see, this is like Priscilla, man, like this conversation has been amazing. Like you didn't just share your story, but you also gave your insight, your strategy, and inspiration that can help anyone who's trying to balance family and business and long-term goals. But
Mhm.
before I let you go, where can persons find you and your business as well? Especially if they need to get like come and support you, especially
Yes,
if you're in
come
Tampa.
support. If you are in
Yeah.
the Tampa Bay area, come check us out. My restaurant is called the Eggs Up Grill. We're located in Riverview. We're right between Falkenberg and 301. We have an amazing breakfast, brunch, and lunch. We're open 7 days a week from 6 in the morning until 2 p.m. And we serve all day breakfast, brunch, and lunch. So if you come at 1 o'clock and want an omelet, hey, you can do that. If you
You
come
can do
at
that.
6 a.m. and want a brunch burger, you can do that too. So it's an open menu all day.
I love that. So to everyone listening, take this as your sign as well to go support Priscilla, but
Thank
also
you.
the content and the info that she shared. Take it as your sign to dream big, to invest in yourself, and to lead your family and business with intention. Right? We're going to drop Priscilla's Instagram handle and Eggs Up handle in the description of or the show notes. You can check out their work, their store, her work as well, and you can tap into all the inspiration she shared today. And details are in again in the show notes. And if you're watching this on YouTube, it's in the description. Priscilla, thank you again so much for being here. And to everyone, just remember, okay, I'm going to always say this. Legacy isn't built by accident. It's built with intention, with strategy, with faith and action, right? So until next time, keep building, keep dreaming, and keep leaving your mark. Bye, guys.